Welcome to another episode of Extreme Super Ultra Review, and this time it will be Crashlands, and with me today is Foehamner.
Hail.
So yes, Crashlands. I'm the one who played Crashlands.
Indeed.
It's a game made by Butterscotch Shenanigans. It's a developer that is more well known for mobile games. This is actually their first Steam PC release. They also released Crashlands on mobiles, on Android. I'm not sure if it's on iOS or not. Let's start with the super cool thing. They basically said they felt like they made a $20 game. So what they did was they charged $15 for the PC version and $5 for the mobile version. So yeah, of course the mobile version is $5 because most of the time steep pricing on mobile doesn't really help sales. They tend to not want to spend as much money as like PC players. You get 1080p 60 frames per second on PC, so it's not all that bad. And compared to games in a similar vein like Starbound, Don't Starve and Terraria, which are $15 to $10, I think it's about roughly okay. So the cool part is you can sign up for their free Butterscotch ID account. It's a system that they use. It's totally free. And you can synchronize your save games, which means you can play on PC and continue later on mobile.
I absolutely love the concept of this feature because something that frequently you spend a lot of time doing in these games is just harvesting the resources you need to build the thing you want to build. And so being able to do that on the train or on the bus is super nice.
Yeah, and you don't need the internet to play the game. You just need the internet to like synchronize the saves, and that's it. Right. Which generally don't take that much bandwidth.
Yeah, right, very small.
And I've had this problem with a few games which does not have this feature. Like Downwell, I have a PC version and mobile version, and basically they are two separate things. So whatever I get on the PC, I don't get on the mobile. So it's kind of frustrating. Although Downwell has less of the progression. It's more of just trying to get the best scores. It's less progression, although you do unlock things, but it's not as Crashlands. Like you need to unlock stuff to build stuff.
What is the progression like in Crashlands?
What do you mean by that?
So like you start out with a wooden sword, and you want to build a metal sword. Like how do you have to go about? Is it pretty straightforward? Do you have to harvest resources, or is it a lot about just killing things and using their drops?
Oh, so it's both.
Okay.
So just a little bit of the story, I guess. You're not going to play this game for the story. Yeah. You're a female truck driver, a female space truck driver, who does deliveries, and the truck was attacked by this monster dude. Crash landed on the planet. Now looking for ways to fix the ship and finish your deliveries, basically.
So you can beat the game? You can like hit a done state?
I'm not too sure. I'm not there yet because the game is actually pretty big.
Cool.
Yeah, so you have a partner companion. It's like a juice box, which is sort of like the tutorial person, teaches you things. The game has some humor. It does not overdo it. It's just enough, which I like. The humor makes it a bit more palatable, the story, I guess. So what game is it? The game is an action RPG with a lot of crafting, with a lot of exploration, a lot of combat. So it's not the same as like Don't Starve and all that, where you don't really need to survive.
In Crashlands, you don't need to survive.
No, there's no survival mechanic at all.
No food or sanity or anything.
No. When you die, you leave like a tombstone on the spot where you died, and like a few of your resources, not all, drops. So just going to the tombstone again will pick everything back up, which is usually very easy to do. So yeah, you're talking about progression. So progression in this game is pretty straightforward. I like the inventory system. The inventory is really well done because it's pretty much you pick up anything and it's nicely sorted out for you. It is numbered for you. It tells you how much you have of this thing, and you can actually track one of the item that you want to make so that you can see how much else you need, but only one. So that's a limitation there.
It's still better than nothing like most games have.
Yeah. So it is very friendly, and you will notice a lot of the design decisions is because it's also a mobile game.
Sure.
So it's a very well done port. And I would definitely think like the PC is the definitive version. But if you want to get it on your mobile for $5, this game is well worth your money.
Seems
just
like
for the amount of content.
It's a full PC game essentially.
Pretty much. And I'm pretty sure it will look super nice on like big mobiles.
Like
big
a tablet maybe.
Yeah. So progression, yes. The crafting in this game is very straightforward. Pretty much you have to. So the crafting is done by different tables. So each table will use a majority of one kind of resource. So like the first table you get will be using straw mostly. The second table will be like wood. Third table is like the animal hide and so on and so forth. And each table will have the first 4 or 5 items are the weapons and the armor. So one weapon, only one weapon for each table. That's kind of a bummer thing. There's not much. There's only melee weapons, and only one weapon per table. And also 4 pieces of armor, 3 or 4 pieces of armor. So you have like the helmet, the chest piece, and I guess legs and arms. So that's like 4 pieces.
Is it super linear where like this weapon is better than this weapon, or have you ever had a choice where it's like, man, this weapon's different, like it
so
swings different?
Crafting is totally random.
Oh.
But in terms of like, because animal hide is a step above the wood table, right?
Okay.
Most of the time, unless you get a super epic weapon at the wood table, the animal hide one will be better.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so the randomness basically is talking. What I mean by random is stuff like status effects, like lifesteal.
It's a bit like Borderlands.
Yeah, pretty much. And you do get like the super rare. So like rare is like orange and with like a very quirky name, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So if you get something super rare, maybe you don't need to change the next level. But most of the time it's pretty linear. So the crafting is linear. I was hoping the crafting would be a bit more not linear and give us a bit more options for the weapons at least. Like different style weapons, like maybe this one is slower but hits harder. High chances of stun, this weapon faster, something like that.
One thing I like in this sort of game, and Adventure Craft does this well, is if I see, this is a really like GTA mindset, but if I see something I haven't seen before, I immediately want to kill it, just to see how tough it is and what it can possibly give me. So, when you see it, like, how easy is it for you to make goals? You know, like, I need to do this, so I need to do A, B, and C to meet this goal. Or are you kind of just like wandering around, exploring, killing things, and just laissez-faire, just encountering things as they fall into your lap?
It's a bit hard to put your goals on this in your own personal goals in this game because it's very. There's no help at all. Like sometimes you want to farm this thing, you don't know where it is until you find it, and then when you find it, you have to drop a sort of like a marker, which you need to craft. So which tells you because I remember once I needed like a bunch of stone. Because I was leveling up to my stone table, so I needed a bunch of stone. So I couldn't find any. So I found a couple of places where there was a bunch of stones everywhere. So I just put down a marker and then I'll know where. So this game has a lot of very convenient mechanics. So they have fast travel.
Nice.
Fast travel to certain points. You will see like a hover teleport thing on the floor whenever you explore. Just go near it and then you activate it. So you can fast travel back to your home all that.
Is it a fixed world or is it randomly generated?
That's the thing. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Because you only play it like once, you don't die and then restart.
Right.
Yeah, when you die, the world is still like the persistent world.
Sure.
But the world is really freaking big though. So there's a lot of exploration in this game, which I like. You need to go
that's my favorite
places finding things. It might not be as deep as like Terraria or Starbound, or maybe not even as deep as Adventure Quest. But for people who were not really into this kind of games that want to try to get into it, I think Crashlands is a very good place to start because it's a bit more.
The inventory thing alone.
It's a bit more casual. Yeah.
This is super user friendly.
Very. So the combat in this game, it's pretty not rewarding. It's pretty satisfying. Like when you kill a monster, like when you whack a monster, it makes this really hard thump sound, which feels very nice. But moving in this game, because it's a point and click, like a Diablo style movement, right? Like Don't Starve and Adventure Quest. So movement in this game is a bit difficult. So there are two reasons why I say that. Number one is sometimes, like, I'm not sure if it's the animation issue, like when you're attacking a monster and you see the monster winding up to attack you, you want to evade it, right?
Yeah.
So when you click on a spot, instead of moving, it stops your attack animation instead of moving.
Oh.
And because you're inclined to only press once, you'll be like, shit.
Right.
And then your brain is kind of too slow to react. And then you get damaged. I died a lot of times because of that.
I can see why, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of annoying because some of the monsters I fight are pretty tough. This game, even though I say it's casual, it's not exactly easy. Casual in terms of mechanics, easing you into this kind of genre. Not really an easy game. So that one's really annoying. Maybe it's a glitch in their animation or something. Like the animation just cancels itself when you press somewhere else to walk, but it doesn't actually walk, which is really freaking annoying.
Yeah, not sure the motivation for that would be. Unless there's like friendly NPCs you could accidentally kill. I don't know.
Say that again?
Are there friendly NPCs?
No. There's no such. There are friendly NPCs, but you can't kill them.
Like vendors, but you can't kill them. Got it.
So the second thing is, everything is done by your mouse clicks. So when you want to harvest, you left click. When you want to fight, you left click. Sometimes when you fight in a place where there's a bunch of stuff to harvest, it gets really annoying.
Yeah.
Especially when the fight is really hectic, because like even the first mob that you find is this weird looking thing that ground pounds on you, like he jumps and then like try to stomp you. It gets really hectic when you have to fight 2 or 3.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And when there's like a bunch of stuff to harvest, you keep clicking on the stuff to harvest instead.
Is it like a harvesting animation that you get pulled into?
Yeah, because harvesting is also automatic. You don't need to equip what tool you want to use. It's very friendly in that way because mobile and whatnot. Unlike Terraria, where you need to actually change your equipment, right?
Right.
So that's the con of it.
I think in Terraria you can harvest anything with anything, but like certain things are just way better. Like if you try to dig into the ground with an axe, it's gonna take forever. Your axe will probably break first. But you can
But if you have your bow or sword equipped, you won't be harvesting anything, right?
I don't know.
I don't remember doing that though.
Could you cut down a tree with a sword or hack up a earth block? I don't remember. Probably not. Probably not.
I don't think so. Yeah. So that's the two biggest issues I have with Crashlands. The movement during combat can be annoying because you kind of die a lot because of it. So there's also building in this game, which is very nice because you can build anywhere. And I do suggest you bring with you like the straw floors, because it can help you create bridges when there's like over water, because you can't cross water in this game. So you can also build a home. Not much choices. There are floors, walls, and doors, and pretty much it. There's no like second floor, third floor, unlike Terraria, because it's just like, it's an isometric view. You can designate which teleporter is your home. So you start off at your crash ship, but you can move around later on. So yeah, this game, I do think it's worth the $15 if you're into this game, and if you've been wanting to try a crafting action game, this might be a nice one to get you into the style of game. But I do think that it's very good for people who wants to play this also on the mobile. And if you want to get both, it's very good because of that cross sync save thing.
Yeah.
Which is really nice. It's a super nice feature that I think a lot of developers should do.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know that I know of many other games that are both platforms, though. I think it'd be good, really good for a tower defense. Anything with, I guess, grinding and repetition, it'd be really great.
Yeah. So, yeah, because I have that same problem with, like, my Pokemon Shuffle game, which is on my 3DS, and they released it on mobile, and there's no way to sync it because Nintendo is Nintendo. And it's really annoying. But I do really highly recommend Crashlands. They did a pretty bang-up job for their first foray into a pretty big game. So they've always been pretty well-known developers in the mobile scene. They're favorites. They're the crowd favorites. This game has been anticipated for a very long time. So yeah, it's the quest doesn't really. It's not very interesting. The story, I don't think is interesting. You play it because it has nice action combat and it has solid crafting, and then you can keep crafting to try to get better epic weapons.
Right.
But that's pretty much it. Not as much customization as you would like in a game like this.
And no multiplayer, right?
And no multiplayer. No. Hopefully they fix whatever I've mentioned, the combat movement thing, in patches or fixes or whatever.
Yeah.
So hopefully, because that's like my biggest gripe with it. Other than that, it's a pretty solid game to pick up and put down. It's an easy game to get into and put it back down because it is a mobile style game anyways. So yeah, I do recommend Crashlands if you like action RPGs, if you like crafting, if you want to try to get into this kind of game. Do check it out. Or if you want to have a really good game on mobile, do check this out because it does sync, does take your time. So yeah, anything else you want to ask, Mr. Ham?
I think we've hit all of the benchmarks I usually look for when I play these sorts of games.
Yeah.
I really like that you can shape the world. Like you have to build bridges and you have to. It's not just like so. There's different two kinds. There's the kind where you just like basically you establish a fort, you build a base, and then you just kind of equip yourself and go out to forays before you come back, like with resources. And then it's the kind where you just kind of just shape the world as you press through. And it's a spectrum. It's not an either or type thing.
Yeah, and I like also that you continue your progress rather than.
Yes, it's not a roguelike.
It's not a roguelike. Yeah, it's not. It's really not a roguelike. The Crashlands soundtrack is also on sale.
How is it explained in the story? Are you like a clone?
What?
Are you a different trucker who crashes each time? How is it explained in the story that you don't die for good? Is it not?
They don't do
Okay, that's fine. It doesn't need to happen. I'm just curious.
They don't do anything. So, I just want to mention the Crashlands soundtrack is also on sale. I'm not too sure how to feel about it. I do like the night soundtrack. But other than that, I feel it's okay. Not sure why they put it on sale. But yeah, I do like the night one. So that's pretty much it. So yeah, Crashlands, $15 on PC, $5 on Android. I'm not too sure if it's on iOS. I'm pretty sure.
And you'd say it's worth $20 for both. It's a good bundle.
If you play a lot of games on your mobile and you've been wanting to play something significant, I would say yes.
Okay.
And if you prefer to like play on PC at home, then yeah, it's a pretty cool thing to have. So yeah, thank you very much for watching and listening our Extreme Super Ultra review of Crashlands. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye.